We have, a lot of listeners that have like side gigs, like almost like their Instagram shit, whether it's selling skincare shit, bathing suits, OnlyFans, t-shirts.
There's a story about OnlyFans I'm gonna speak to in a,
I mean, we can get right to that. But for people that are pretty much doing all e-commerce on the internet and their income is just transactional PayPal shit or whatever app they're using, what's the best strategy come tax time for everyone that is involved in that?
So for those individuals, you definitely want to, even if you don't have a separate business set up, whoever you bank with, you want to have a separate checking account for those transactions so that at the end of the year, like these transactions relate to this.
Yeah.
Right. Usually people put everything together and it takes longer to try to figure it out. So if you have a job, you have one checking account that the money goes into that. If you have a side hustle or hustles, you have a separate checking account for that until you create a company.
Got it.
So then it's easier for whoever's doing your taxes to do it. Right. But if you want to, let's say, go high level, you can download like QuickBooks or one of, because nowadays a lot of the bookkeeping apps make it simpler for people to be able to track their stuff. Or if you bank with, like, to say, like a Chase or like you use like Amex, they'll help you sift through it a lot easier as well. So even who you bank with makes a difference.
Got you. Okay.
Let's talk about the streamers too.
Yep.
Somebody like Kai Cenat, making a shit ton of money. What does his taxes look like since his studio, his set is essentially his home where he records and films out of? How much would you say of his money he's actually saving and keeping versus expenses and things like that when that type of money is coming in?
Fair. So, and I believe he records in Georgia, if I'm not mistaken. So let's say he was still in the Bronx versus Georgia, he would be paying a lot more taxes in the Bronx, because the Bronx is part of New York City. So in New York City, you're paying federal, state, and city. Georgia, I believe the tax rate is about 3 to 4% for the state, which is really low for any state versus what you have to pay in New York State. So he's already at a lower taxable amount. Then depending on, he uses basically his entire basement. So a portion of his home automatically becomes for business purposes. And then if he was really strategic, the entire home he would use as a content home and then live somewhere else. So then he'll be able to leverage the entire home. Right. That would be more strategic, in my opinion, versus using a portion of it. But if he just using a portion of it, he gets to write off that portion. Now, how he spends his money, for instance, when I was in Ghana and he was out there, right? So when he's traveling, because he's documenting everything, that entire trip is a business expense because he's a streamer.
Right.
But even if you're not a streamer and you just start to vlog, that also counts as for business purposes.
Right.
As long as you're generating some form of money online, which is easy, you just put it on YouTube and eventually you'll make money off of it.
We assume that Kai probably owns that house in Georgia. Let's say the streamer that is renting a 3-bedroom with 2 roommates and is streaming out of just his room. How would his taxes be?
So, great question. So, regardless of renting versus owning, that portion, now, if he's legitimately sleeping in that room, so technically the IRS just wants you to do a percentage or a portion of the room and write off the costs associated with that, the internet, things of that nature. If the person was being more strategic, I would just say that the person slept on the couch, right? Like, you sleep on the couch, that means your entire room is really for content purposes.
Yeah.
A lot of people do sleep on the couch. Now you get to write off, let's say, a third of the apartment.
Okay. Oh, that strategy makes sense.
Yeah. So, and even to speak about OnlyFans real quick, right? So there's, I mean, and this is still happening. There's a story about
we hear some women throwing out some crazy numbers that they're making on
they
OnlyFans.
I can attest to, they're
making a good piece of change.
Not that I'm contributing to it.
Yeah.
However, I've helped individuals manage,
strategize.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Because I mean, you got to help everybody.
That's a fact.
That's important. So this is a OnlyFans model that was there's at least a story about it where she was bringing in about $5,000 per month, right? And then she got her boobs done, and then it went from $5,000 a month to about $30,000 to $40,000 a month. So when we spoke earlier about ordinary and necessary, typically you wouldn't think somebody getting their body done is ordinary necessary for business.
Mhm.
However, she can tangibly show that prior to getting her boobs done, she was making $5,000.
Mhm.
After breast enhancement,
Mhm.
now she's at $40,000 a month. So $35,000 increase. As long as she's paying tax on that $40,000, and or at least showing it, that's justifiable that she can write off the trip to get wherever she went to get it, chances are Colombia,
Mhm.
and everything that was associated, even the post-op, because you get the massage and all that stuff.
Wellness therapy.
Yes.
Yeah.
What a country.
Yeah, but it makes sense because she's enhancing. OnlyFans makes money. Everyone is winning,
Mm. From the boobs.
right?
Mm.
It's therapy.
Mm.
It's terrible.
It's therapy.
When you think about it.
Before we wrap up, I know you talked about the quote unquote grandkids, and I think we'll probably do individual episodes based off that, how you can make money work for yourself and
Very important.
mailbox money. What are just some of those things for what people can look forward to as far as individual episodes on how their money can make money for them?
Yep. So we're going to go into life insurance, which is really important and big in terms of how you can create wealth with life insurance. We're going to speak to how to actually create a company and the difference between being an entrepreneur and having a business.
Mhm.
So we're going to break that type of stuff down. Different ways to invest, like actually how to grow your money. If you want to live abroad versus stateside,
Mhm.
basically go on a journey of any way to allow your money to make money for you. We're going to talk about it in some way.
No, Rory and Mom!
Man, were they lucky, Maul. They just got a sneak peek into our Patreon content. To see the full episode and all our other Patreon episodes, please go to patreon.com/New Rory and Maul. Get access to our Discord chat, early releases on sketches, merch, maybe even date Maul for the right tier. He's available.
That has to be the right tier.
Okay.
That's
What's
my
the price though for that? We can add that now.
We're looking at a little 30K maybe.
Okay.
Yeah.
I like that you own your value.
Yeah. 30K.
30K and you can have sex with Maul.
Yep. Let's do it.
Patreon.com/Rory and Maul.